I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on the Spotlight Network, we're diving into an emotional and empowering memoir that speaks to heartbreak, healing, and hope. The name of the book, Memoirs of a Cheated On Wife, and it's written by a terrific author. Her name is Gloria Lynne Chitty. It is a raw and honest account of a woman's journey through marital infidelity and how she emerged stronger and more whole. This deeply personal story offers strength, clarity, and inspiration to anyone who's felt broken but refused to stay that way. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Books for Life Marketing for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below the interview. And be sure to download the Spotlight Network TV app streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. Gloria, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mr. Crawford.
Great to have you on the show. Such an insightful book, such a touching book, and an empowering book as well. Why did you decide to share your story? It took a lot of courage, I'm sure, to do so.
Yes, it did. It was actually divine intervention that caused me to share my book, to even write the book. I received a vision with the title of the book, and I'm thinking, Lord, do you want me to write a book about this? Because for me, it's not anything that I would have on my own just put out there because it's personal and um people don't speak on it a lot publicly, but he put in my spirit to write the book because his purpose was greater than my privacy. And so, that being said, I'm like, okay, I guess my story needs to be told. If God is saying there's a purpose for it, then I'm going to be obedient to what he's saying. So that's how the book got started.
You look at the life of Jesus, he was betrayed. He was betrayed by the people who are closest to him. And of course, he was redeemed as well. So, with every betrayal, there's also redemption, and people need to realize that, and it'll help them through the troubling times. Journaling
Absolutely.
was helpful to you, right?
Yes, it was. Journaling was helpful. I poured my heart out in the journaling. Um, and I wrote what was in my heart. At first I didn't know how um what all I should share, how in depth I should go with details and things of that nature. But God put in my spirit to type, type, just write, just write what's in your heart. Just put it on the page and then just let it go. And so that's what I did. I knew that there would be language in there. I knew that there would be intimate details in there. And I knew that what I was going to be sharing, that he was going to be okay with it. He said, just type, pour your heart out, and just put it on the page. And so that's what I did. And once I finished, um, I felt that peace. I felt that peace because I know I was being obedient to what he told me to do. And I absolutely knew that there was a purpose for this. I knew the purpose was greater than just me. And that's what he put in my spirit.
And I think
Yes.
you are also helping others by doing this. So I think that's part of it.
Yes.
I think it's why you've got the inspiration to write it from the Lord. And I think it's very, very important. What advice would you give to others who are currently facing infidelity?
Um, the advice that I would give to them is that they are not alone. And I want people to know that this is not a woman's book. This is a human book. It's men and women have gone through this, and I want them to know that they are not alone. That there is hope, there is help, and the scriptures absolutely um, saved my marriage. I do know that the first purpose for this book was for my husband's healing. I had been praying and just I don't think he knew what he did was wrong, but I think he didn't know the impact that it left on me. And so when he read the book, he read it. I told him I wanted him to read the book before it was published, and he did that. And God absolutely changed his heart based on what I wrote in that book. So I knew that that was the first purpose. The second purpose was for the masses. I knew that my journey and how God healed me would also help heal someone else. And so, for people that have already purchased the book, I have gotten so much feedback from men and women on how it touched them, it moved them, it gave them hope, and so I just started to see God's purpose for the book unfolding. So yes.
Did you think you were going to be able to save your marriage? Do you think this book saved your marriage? And why did you want to save your marriage?
Well, God told me to stay. When it happened, he said, forgive him. He said, forgive him, and to stay. And so that was a struggle for me. So I'm like, how do I stay? How do I leave? I didn't know. But his scriptures walked me through every emotion. The scriptures got me to a place where I was trusting him with all of this. And like I said, I saw the change in my husband. He changed his heart. And the scriptures actually got me to a place where I was at peace. I started to focus on his word. I started focusing on myself. I started to praise God for what I knew he was going to do. And I knew that my husband loved me. I knew he loved me. And it opened his heart up and it showed him him. It showed him how he um needed to change his life. He needed to look at how he was living and what he was doing. And it was an answered prayer for me. And I just saw a change in him. And I know that it was because of the book, because of my obedience to God. It was because of my obedience to him. And so I know that, in helping me, that it absolutely will help someone else as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um,
Yes.
what was his reaction when he knew you were going to publish this book?
He wasn't okay with it at first.
Yeah.
He wasn't okay. And he did ask me, he said, if I don't want you to write this book, are you still going to write it anyway? And I looked at him and I told him, I absolutely am. And um, God revealed to me in a dream, write the book or else. So my fear of God, I knew, okay, I didn't want to find out what the or else was. So I knew he had a purpose for this book. So when I told my husband, I'm absolutely going to write this book anyway, um, he didn't argue with it. He said, okay. And then, like I said, once he read the book, God changed it all. And like I said, the scriptures, it pierced my husband's heart. And so, and it got us to a place where we work things out. And I know sometimes when infidelity happens, some couples, they don't make it, but sometimes God means for you to work it out. Sometimes he wants you to know you can get past it. There is hope. You can come out on the other side and be just as good as you were before. You may never forget, but can you get to a place where you're good, you're happy, you're at peace, you're transparent, you're loving one another again? You absolutely can. And that's where we are. We're absolutely amazing. And I know that it's because of my obedience to him in writing this book. I know that it is.
What was it
Yes.
like rebuilding trust? How did you go about rebuilding trust after the situation?
Well, like I said, he changed Kevin's heart, and Kevin became transparent with me. Questions that he didn't answer at first, he answered them. He opened himself up to a place where he knew he had to do what needed to be done to save our marriage. And he was transparent with me. And I know that it was because, and I have to keep saying this, it was because of God. It was because of him. Because prior to me writing the book, my husband was not willing to talk about it. He felt like if he kind of swept it under the rug and kind of stayed out of my way a little bit, that things would eventually get okay, but they didn't. And so God had to show him, yeah, you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to show her that you are changed, that your heart is good, that you're not the same person you were when this happened. And so he like I said, he opened up his heart and he was transparent with me. And then along with me being in the scripture, reading the scriptures and just trusting God, seeking God's face. It just all, God just brought it all together. He just brought it all together. And
Wonderful.
so it's not an overnight thing. You know, you can't put a time frame on healing. Um, it's a daily journey, but we're good. And so I want people to know, it's healing doesn't come overnight. It takes time, it takes effort. But when you seek God's face, you trust him and you allow him to move and work in your relationship, God can turn things around and make something that the enemy meant for bad. God can turn it around and he can make it a good thing. He can bring you through it. And so
Wonderful.
that's what happened with us.
Absolutely. Having faith and having strong belief in God and a good communication
Absolutely.
with God will help you through anything. So it helped you through that dark
Will.
time and helped you build a better, stronger relationship now. And you're
Mhm.
sharing the story, you're sharing the inspiration in this wonderful book. It is called Memoirs of a Cheated On Wife. It is a story of heartbreak turned into healing and pain
Yes.
transformed into power. Gloria, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and thank you for this opportunity.
I appreciate your candor, your insight, and your wisdom. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time until next time on Spotlight.